Right, back again with another PS4 collection video. Last time I went through these games, so we got to and the last game was The End Is Nigh, which is a fantastic platforming game. I'll slide this over. This time I'll get to the end of these PS4 games, so these are the games that I have played and completed. And after that, I still have the limited editions to go through, and then all the games that I haven't played. So this is still going to take multiple videos to get through, but we'll get there eventually. Now, let's start off with one of the iconic PS4 games for me, and some of the people who are also watching this video. This is The Evil Within 2, the sequel to the survival horror game by Shinji Mikami and the now defunct Tango Gameworks. So I think this was an improvement on pretty much everything from the first game in terms of exploration and the combat and the writing and everything. And we will never get the third one, so we will never get to know what happened to Joseph, for example. It's a mystery for the ages. Right, next up, we have some writing that isn't as good. So this is Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls PS4 collection on separate discs. I remember liking Heavy Rain a lot on a PS3 when it first came out. After its release, I don't know if it was as good as I remember it being, but at least it was kind of entertaining and funny, and like interesting in many ways. Beyond Two Souls is just a complete mess of a game. Like, as I've said before when I commented on Detroit Become Human, I absolutely loathe David Cage and everything that he writes. He's so bad at writing. It's ridiculous. The Last Guardian. Now, a lot of people didn't really like this game, but I did, because Shadow of the Colossus is my favorite game of all time. So obviously I'm going to check this out and probably enjoy it. This is by Japan Studio. A game that was developed for how long? I don't know, like 10 years maybe. And it came out and it was fine. I kind of like it. I didn't have any problems with the AI of the dog monster, like some people did. So maybe that is one of the reasons why I like the game. Another limited run game. This is The Missing. What is the complete name? Is it EJ? What is the name? JJ Macfield, okay. It's The Missing, JJ Macfield and the Island of Memories. This is by White Owls. So the guy who directed this is... Who is it? It's Swery65, right? The guy who is behind Deadly Premonition. This is one of his games. So this is a 2D puzzle platformer with a lot of emphasis on the story and the characters. It's worth checking out. The Nonary Games collection. So this has the two first games in the series. Why is there this ugly sticker? I'll have to take that off later. But yeah, so this has 999 doors. And what is the name of the other game? What is the name? Virtue's Last Reward, VLR. Right. So this has the first two games in the Nonary Games series. These are FMV puzzle, like escape room puzzle games. The first and second one I really like. The third one is later on in a pile, and yeah, I'll comment that one when I get there. But these are some of the more iconic, like not mainstream, but these visual novels that a lot of people have played who don't really enjoy visual novels. So maybe a good entry point. A game that isn't a good entry point to anything is The Occupation, one of the worst games that I have played on a PS4. Just too ambitious. Like it's a first-person exploration game where the time is moving at real time. So you have like a time limit to do things. There's a clock ticking, and you have to like sneak around and find items and whatnot. And it's just poorly executed. It's interesting but poorly executed. Another game that's interesting but poorly executed is The Order 1886. This is the limited edition steelbook. A very nice looking steelbook. The game is very short. It's a third-person shooter, and it's very poorly paced. It looks really good, and the gameplay is fine, but it's really poorly paced. It's not as bad as people said when it was first released. So I think many people who hated the game back then would actually kind of like it if they revisited it. But it's definitely not a good time. It's still worth playing, I think, but it's not the best one. All right, Sexy Brutal. This is by Tequila Works, and a masterpiece, if there ever was one. This is the Full House edition. So this is a isometric murder mystery, time traveling kind of. I don't even know what it is. It's very good, is what it is. Also comes with a soundtrack CD and a game manual. This is one of those games that a lot of people didn't play because the title is really like dumb. Like the Sexy Brutal, that's the name of the casino that the game takes place in. But the visual style and the music is just unique. It's something else. And this is like this should be played by more people. Another FMV game released by Limited Run Games. This is again Wales Interactive, and this is one of the better ones. This is a really strange murder mystery where you are literally taking control of different people's bodies and going around as them. So you get different reactions from people and so on. So this is worth checking out if you're into FMV games. I believe it's by the same people who made The Infectious Madness of Dr. Decker. So it's kind of similar in that sense that it's just a really strange FMV puzzle game. Next up, another visual novel. This is The Silver Case, and this is the American physical release for it. I don't remember if there is a European one, but I have the American. I actually bought this in Tokyo, in Japan. They had this on a shelf in one of the game stores, and I just had to pick it up. It was for like $20. And this is a game by Grasshopper Manufacturer. So this is a Goichi Suda game. Suda, what is it? What is it? Suda 51? The name he goes by? I think it's Suda 51, but Suda basically, yeah. And this is a really strange, like, combination of first-person dungeon crawling and FMV game. And the style is very much like a 90s anime in many ways. Great music as well. This is a Eurojank game. This is by Frogwares. If you see the logo Frogwares, get the game, because they make the best Eurojank games out there. These are the people who have made many of the Sherlock Holmes games, for example. So games that aren't the best, but they are always interesting and always fun to play. This is a Lovecraftian horror third-person shooter, murder mystery, investigation, just open world exploration game. Just everything that you can think of smashed into one game. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it's completely broken, but it's always fun. Next up, we have a double set of Souls-like games. These are the Surge games, so 1 and 2. I don't have the DLC for either one of those. One of these. They should re-release these as a combo pack with all the DLC. But yeah, I really like the first one. The second one was fine as well, but the first one, I mean, the second one is it's kind of more of the same, but on a larger scale. And I really like the smaller scale of the first game. So yeah, these are like sci-fi Dark Souls clones, basically. They're not necessarily clones, like strictly speaking, because they have a lot of their own ideas. Like you chop off limbs from enemies and get the items, different items that way, and all these ideas. But yeah, they're basically Dark Souls games, but also pretty good ones. So worth playing. One of my favorite games of all time is the Talos Principle. This is the European release, retail release, deluxe edition, with the iconic cat picture. I was delighted when I played the second game, and the same kitten was also in the same game, also in the second game. So there's a story reason for this kitten being here, which was kind of fun. But yeah, first-person puzzle games. Laser pointer puzzle games, basically. Doesn't come with anything extra. So it's a deluxe edition without anything extra. It does have the DLC on disc, so that's why it's a deluxe edition, but it doesn't have any other extras. What is this? Oh, this is the Town of Light. So this is a first-person like walking simulator game. You walk in a abandoned asylum. It's okay. It's an interesting game. If you're into walking simulators, it may be a good time. If you aren't into walking simulators, it's going to be a really boring time. Yeah. Also comes with these photos. So the game takes place in a real, actual abandoned asylum that has been modeled in a game. It comes with some. I don't want to open this because I remember this being really tight. I can't get them back inside, but there's a bunch of photos of the actual real world place that this game takes place in. So yeah, the Town of Light, walking simulator. Next up, we have the Walking Dead, the definitive Telltale series. So this is the complete Walking Dead series. Season 1, Season 2, Season 3, Season 4, and the 400 days and the Michonne extras. And I believe it's all on disc. Yep, that's good. The first season is fantastic. Everything else is forgettable. But the first season is fantastic. The second season is okay, and then goes kind of downhill from there. But yeah, worth checking out. One of the greatest games of all time, The Witcher 3, comes with all of the DLC. So it's the 2 big packs and then like the small stuff. And I think it's all on disc. Yep, no download codes. I don't even know what to say. Just a fantastic game. From top to bottom. The DLC is fantastic as well. Some of the best DLC ever made. Especially the first one, Heart of Stone. But the storyline in that first DLC is just mind-blowing how good it is. A game that isn't mind-blowing, but is kind of fun. This is Thief. The reboot of the old PC series where you sneak around and steal stuff. And this is a first-person like a stealth game. It's okay. Not the greatest. And didn't sell too well, and the series is dead again. So I really like the old PC games. It's a controversial opinion, but I prefer the third one, which is like a third-person game. That's the first one that I played. I prefer that one, maybe because it was the first one that I played, but also because I played it when I was quite young, so I have fond nostalgic memories of it. a limited run games release, Thimbleweed Park. This is number 80. So this is a point and click adventure game developed by Ron Gilbert and Gary Winnick, some of the people who made the old LucasArts point and click adventure games. And this is a fantastic point and click adventure game. A really good starting point as well, I think. So if you haven't played any of the old ones, that's not really a problem. The puzzles in Thimbleweed Park make a lot more sense than the puzzles in some of the old games. So maybe a good time for people who don't even like the old adventure games, because there isn't really that much of the old school like nonsense puzzle solving. Then this is the Police. This is the only PS4 game that I stopped playing middle way through and I put it in my played pile so that I'll never play it again. And it's kind of interesting. It's like a management game where you manage a police station. You have all these like calls for potential crime, and you have to pick who you send, how many officers you send, and who. And you have to manage all these different people. People can just become drunks and addicts and just useless workers, and you have to deal with that. But this is it's so slow and so clunky, and the storyline is it's unfair to the player, really. The game is constantly pissing in your eye when you're playing it. At one point, this is a spoiler, but around like 10 hours into the game, you lose everything. You lose all the officers that you had, all the people that you have, like good people. You lose everyone, and you have to start from scratch. And the game becomes just unbearable to play at that point, in my opinion. You don't have any good employees, and you're just getting wrecked by everyone. So I just stopped playing it. I don't care about it at all. Right. Titanfall 2, a fantastic first-person shooter, one of the best ones on the system. Like a mecha first-person shooter. Then we have Tomb Raider Definitive Edition. This is the original reboot game from the PS3 with better graphics, and I believe the DLC also on disc. Yes. Does this have DLC? Wait. I actually don't remember. Or is it the second one that has the DLC on disc? Maybe this doesn't have DLC. I don't remember. But it's a good Tomb Raider game. Some of my favorite games from my childhood are the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater games, especially the second one, and also the third one, and also some of the PS2 games that I will get to at some point after I've filmed all these dozens of PS4 videos and PS3 stuff. So these are the first two Tony Hawk games remade with HD graphics. The gameplay is still great, so definitely worth playing. Another Finnish game, this is Trials Fusion, the Awesome Max Edition. So these are puzzle platformers where you are basically like riding on a 2D plane with a motocross bike. Really challenging, really difficult puzzle platformers. Like, I haven't even completed all of the DLC. Some of the DLC levels are so difficult that I just can't complete them. I think there are like two levels that I can't complete. Next up, we have some limited run games again. These are Turok 1 and Turok 2, old school FPS games. These are number 302 and 303. So these are quite different from one another. So the first one is very linear and just a really good tight FPS game, very short. And the second one is like twice as long, and it's very complicated with massive levels. So these are very different from one another. I think both of them are pretty good. Not my favorites, but like pretty good. All right, EA Sports UFC. I got this for like a couple of euros. It's an okay sports game. I haven't followed the UFC actively for like 10 years, so I don't know any of the people in this game, but I just made a custom character and just beat people up, so had some good times with it. Then I have some Uncharted games here. This is the Nathan Drake collection with the first 3 games. These aren't like proper remakes or anything, it's just updated graphics. The first one hasn't aged very well. The second game is still fantastic. The third game I've never been a big fan of. It's a collection of awful game design choices from the like around 2010 or so, where the level design is just completely just garbage. Just a square box with nonsensical item placement and a bunch of people running at you from every direction. So the third game is not my thing, but the second one is fantastic. And then I have these are actually not in the correct order. The fourth one, Thieves' End. A good return to form, in my opinion. Better than the third one, definitely. Maybe a bit too long. It's like 20 hours. It should be a bit shorter. And then the Lost Legacy. I prefer this over the fourth one, just because this is exactly the type of like small contained storyline that I like in these Uncharted games. So this is like a 10-hour Uncharted game, like a side mission. This is also very heavy. What does it have inside? Some download code, some extra. How many download codes are there? Like, what is this? It has two different download codes, and one of them isn't even for an Uncharted game. Very strange. Okay. But yeah, that's Uncharted. Until Dawn, one of the early PS4 games. Like a really fun horror adventure game. Oh, the case is a bit damaged. I didn't even know that. I'll have to replace it at some point. Like there's it's not broken, but it has this look to it that something has smashed it. Right, one of the best indie games of the last couple of years, Untitled Goose Game. This is the European retail release for that. Comes with a massive booklet, a world of items. So this is a collection of all the items in a game that you can grab as your goose, and all the people, all the levels. This is a puzzle, like a proper puzzle game where you control a goose. You go around messing with people. Also comes with a map. Is it two-sided? Nope. One-sided map of the game area. But yeah, Untitled Goose Game, definitely worth playing and owning as part of a collection. Next up, Vampire. This is by Don't Nod. This is the definition of Eurojank. I kind of like it and I kind of hate it at the same time. The writing is terrible. The atmosphere is fantastic. One of the things to know about this game is that the frame rate and the technical side is completely broken. So the further on you get in a game, the slower it gets. And also, if you move too fast in a game world, it will probably crash at some point. And it's just, yeah, the technical side of it is very poor. Velocity 2X Critical Mass Edition. This is an underrated shooter. It's like a combination of a vertical shoot 'em up and like a 2D like side-scrolling shoot 'em up. The playstyle changes in different levels. Also comes with a soundtrack CD and a booklet. The art style is very nice in this game. It has this. It almost looks like a mobile game, but it is just stylized enough that it actually looks pretty good. More shooters. This is Void Gore by Red Art Games. This is a very small, like you can beat this game in like 15 minutes. I think it has one boss or two bosses in it. So it's basically like it's an endless shooter where enemies are just coming at you, and at the end there's a boss at some point. But you can continue the game. I think infinitely. It keeps looping. Released by Red Art Games, like I said. Is it numbered? No. Next up, Warriors Orochi 3 Ultimate. Has a pretty nasty like slash on the cover. This is actually the first PS4 game that I got. So when I bought the PS4, I think in like 2015, the first 3 games that I got were this, Dark Souls 2, and what else? Why can't I remember the third game? Maybe it was Bloodborne. It was probably Bloodborne. But yeah, comes with a proper manual. Again, early PS4 title has a manual in it. Incredible. Watch Dogs, another open world PS4 game. I've had quite a few of them actually in this video with Witcher 3 and Thief and like the Lost Legacy Uncharted is also kind of an open world game, and The Evil Within 2 is kind of an open world game. So many open world titles in this video. Yeah, Watch Dogs didn't live up to the hype, but it's still like it's an okay game. Also has a small manual, so plus for that, and some download codes. But yeah, it's an okay open world game. I did like it. The storyline's very forgettable, and the characters are just forgettable, but it's definitely worth playing. Next up, we have Watam, a game that barely has the title on the cover. Like it is there on the spine if it would like focus. It is there on the spine, Watam. But yeah, this is by the people who made the Katamari Damacy series. So it's like a puzzle game. A really, really strange puzzle game. Also has this manual, kind of like what the Katamari Damacy games had. So they have these manuals with these childlike drawings. It's like a kid drew this. But yeah, the game is okay. It's not. I don't think it's even close to the level of the Katamari Damacy games, but it is worth checking out. I think if you're into very strange Japanese games. Also has this artwork here on the back of the cover. It's very nice. I have to get it back there without any damage. Did I get it? Yeah. So that's Watam. And then we are on to the last stack of the PS4 that I have. This is what remains. Oh, these are in the incorrect. Are these not? I threw it on the floor. Are these in incorrect order? No, these are actually in the correct order. Why do I have so many games that start with the letter Y? That's strange. Okay, so this is what remains of Edith Finch. This is the I Am 8-bit release for it. This is one of my favorite PS4 games. Absolutely, like a first person exploration game. Next up, White Day. This is a Korean horror game, like first person horror game. I have to speed things up because my phone is running out of battery. So next up, we have Wipeout Omega Collection. This is a collection of levels from the Wipeout games, I believe from Wipeout HD, the DLC of HD, and the Vita game, which was Wipeout 2048, maybe something like that. But yeah, these are great racing games. The Wipeout series is one of my favorites of all time. So, Windjammers, This is a competitive, like an arcade style game where you throw frisbees. This is the limited run games release number 57. Comes with a booklet that does have some info in it, barely. Then we have some Wolfenstein. This is the New Order and the Old Blood. Fantastic FPS games, alternate future, hunting Nazis, and so on. Then I have the English-Chinese version of Wonder Boy: The Dragon's Trap. So the game is completely in English, but this box is also in Chinese. Doesn't have anything extra in it. This is is this like a remake of the old, or a reboot? I don't remember which one, but the old Wonder Boy or Monster Boy series came back with this one, and luckily it was a big hit because now there are more games in the series. Then I have some Yakuza games. These are some of the best games on the system, Yakuza 0 especially. And then I have the steelbooks for the Kiwami and Kiwami 2. So the steelbooks, like the art is really nice, like this goes perfectly. And there's also some of these Yakuza back tattoos. Like the glow on this is really bad, but hopefully you can see some of it at least. And the Kiwami 2, I don't really like this game as much as the first one, or Zero, but the steelbook is even nicer looking. Okay, now the glow is gone. It has the main character and the main antagonist. Does this have anything extra? Oh, this also has a booklet. Kiwami 2. It doesn't have anything in it. It's like warning texts, but at least there's something. But yeah, some of the most fun open world games out there. Does the first one have anything extra in it? It also has like a similar warning text collection. All right. But yeah, Zero is definitely the best one. Start with that one if you're looking into getting into the series. Yesterday Origins. This is a adventure game. It's very good, actually. Very interesting, very strange. Good puzzles in it as well. Good writing, interesting characters. Yoku's Island Express, an underrated platforming game. Like this is something that you should keep an eye on. It's a pinball, like 2D platforming game with pinball gameplay in it. One of the most pleasant surprises I've had in a long time. But then we have Yooka-Laylee. It's an okay 3D platformer. Maybe a bit of a disappointment. This was like a Kickstarter game back in the day. Then I have Young Souls. This is the American release by Limited Run Games. Not a numbered copy. This is like a partner label title. But yeah, this is a good co-op game. So if you're looking for a co-op game, this is like a beat-em-up, co-op beat-em-up with a lot of story in it. Next up, we have some Ys games. These are Ys 8 Lacrimosa of Dana and Ys 9 Monstrum Nox. The 8 one doesn't have anything extra in it. Like these are JRPGs. I really like the like this one, Lacrimosa of Dana, the 8 one. Really like that game. It's a really charming like a camp builder. You are on an island. You have to find people and build up your camp and whatnot. And then 9 is an okay game. This is not one of my favorites in the series, but this edition does have the soundtrack. Like it's not the full soundtrack, but like a what is the name for it? Sampler disc. And then it does have a manual. Art booklet / manual. Oh, it's not a manual at all. It's actually just an art booklet. Okay. And then I have this is one of my favorites in the series. This is Ys Origin. It's a very different style of game. This is an isometric, like an action RPG. with very, very nice looking pixel graphics or pixelated graphics. And this is the Chinese English release of it. There's also a European retail release. There's also a limited run games release in the US and whatnot. So many different ways to get your hands on this one. This is the original physical release back when there weren't any other ones. Right, I ran out of battery on my phone, so I'll film this last couple of games separately. So I have two more here. Just ran out of time. So this is Zero Time Dilemma. This is the third game in the Zero Escape series, or the Nonary games. There's the first two games. And I don't even know what to call this game, because this is a typical case of a Japanese developer naming their game in an obnoxious manner. So is this series called Zero Escape, or is it the Nonary games? I don't even know. They use both. So I don't know. Zero Time Dilemma. This is the third game. This is my least favorite in a series. It's really long and the writing is just all over the place. And then lastly, I have Zombie. This is the Wii U game re-released on the PS4. It's not like mind-blowingly good, but it's like worth giving a shot if you like first-person shooters and FPS games. So yeah, those are all the PS4 games that I have played and completed. Since I'm sitting here filming this only a couple of minutes long video, I will add to the end of the video a couple extra games. So I was wondering where I should put these, because I have played these, but they are sealed, and these are games that I have played digitally. I own digitally. I have played digitally, but I also own the physical 4, and I've kept these sealed and in these protective cases. So these are some of the more collectible games. Oh, no, not all of these are very expensive, but they're just games that I don't want to open for one reason or another. So first one is Bastion. This is limited run games, release 107. One of my favorite indie games of all time. I don't even know where to put this. I'll just put them here, up top. Then I have Divinity Original Sin 2. This is the PS4 Definitive Edition. I've played this on a PC, and I got this. I found this for a good price, and I got it for a collectible piece I have on my shelf. One of the greatest video games ever made. Definitely one of the greatest RPGs ever made. A pretty good puzzle game. This is Either One. There is also a Steelbook limited edition that I don't have. This is just a regular edition. This is like a Myst type, if you know the old puzzle games, Myst games. This is kind of like those first-person exploration puzzle games. Then I have the European retail release for Hotline Miami. This is the Hotline Miami collection. Has both of the games in one package. I didn't even know that this existed. I just ran into it randomly in a sale and got it for really cheap, and it went out of print almost immediately. So I don't even know if this may be worth something now. I don't know. Then I have the limited run release for Lone Survivor. This is number 16, so a very early limited run title. Also comes with a postcard that I have stored here separately. And this is also one of my favorite PS3 era indie games. Like a pixel graphics survival horror game. Very good stuff. Then I have one of the first limited run games. This is Octodad, Deadliest Catch, like a physics-based like puzzle platformer. I don't even know what to call it. A third-person puzzle platformer. Has the postcard and the sticker. I think the Lone Survivor one also has the sticker, but it's like on the other side. Yeah, Octodad. Great indie game. More limited run games. This is Risk of Rain. I've played this on PC. This is number 33. Really fun. Also a really fun co-op game. You can also play it by yourself, but with a friend it's even more fun. This is like a wave-based shooter. I haven't played Republic Commando. I have it sealed here because I have the European retail release. So I don't want to open this. I don't know really much about it. I think it's an FPS game. One of the more liked, like one of the better liked Star Wars games. Stealth Inc. Clone in the Dark Ultimate Edition. Played this on a PS3 digitally. This is number 15 from limited run games. This is again one of those underrated puzzle games. Like a lot of people don't really talk about it. But yeah, Stealth Inc. A Clone in the Dark. Worth checking out if you like puzzle games. Thomas Was Alone. Classic indie platformer. Limited run games number 12. Fantastic soundtrack. Mike Beatle is a game developer that I really like. I check out pretty much all of his games. Just wish more of them had physical releases. Right, another game by the developers of Bastion is Transistor. Limited run games number 155. An absolutely beautiful isometric action game. Great art, great music. And then lastly, I have the limited run games edition of Wonder Boy, the Dragon's Trap. I also have the... Where is it? It's somewhere here. Wonder Boy. Where is it? It's supposed to be here. It's near the bottom of the... Yeah, there it is. It's in the bottom of the third pile. I have the Chinese English version. I also have this limited run games version. This is number 42. I got it in a blind box, so I didn't really pick it up for any particular reason. Just happened to have it. Right, so those are all the games that I have for this video. Next time I will go through the limited editions and collector's editions that I have. So look forward to that. Thanks for watching and bye.